can you kind of explain what money is and how it works? Because I think we don't know what it is or how it works, and you miss out on it.
Yeah. So you have to think, when you're thinking about what money is, you have to think about what it gets you. So it is the method of exchange, right? So money at its core is just paper, right? But what we do with it is then what gives it power. So money is really just energy. I'm going to give this money to then get something accessible to me. And that energy can positively benefit me or it can negatively affect me. So it depends on where you're trying to spend your energy. A lot of people, they don't see it that way. They think it's just something that I have to deal with because the world told me so. But the people that understand that it's about energy, it's about giving it to something that is positive or beneficial to you, then lets you to really tap into all of these financial systems that are in place.
So everything, essentially, we are the currency.
Yes.
At the very, but I was reading something the other day about how, like, at the beginning of this country, like, of course, slaves were the currency.
Mm-hmm.
You were the stocks, bonds. They put you in the stockade, stocks and bonds. You were traded. Like, we were currency. We were the stock market. It's interesting, but people don't know. And if you're not giving your money to something that's growing, it's evident in your life a lot of times.
Exactly.
Yeah. So,
exactly.
Man, everything got to be living in your life.
Right. It's all interconnected.
Yeah. Energy. Deep. We're learning so much about energy now. How do you see people lose the most money?
When they spend that energy making them owe, so in debt or in assets that don't really appreciate, they depreciate.
So is that really an asset?
So it is, because it still gives you some kind of value, but it's real small value. So for example, cars. A lot of times people will get a car, it valued at one thing, but the loan that you got on that car is way higher than the value of the car. So you drove off the lot underwater.
Yeah.
People don't really understand that, or they don't really care because they just want the car to be nice. But it's worth less as soon as you drive it off the lot. So I never do loans on cars. I'm more so going to do something where you have a line of credit, or if you have a cash payment that you can make on a car. That's when a car is worthwhile, because then I don't have to get a loan. I don't have to go into debt to get this asset that I know is not going to be worth the same in 2 days.
So what, you lease?
I lease, or I would do like that line of credit like I just mentioned.
Explain the line of credit.
So line of credit is like a credit card that you can write checks off of. It's basically like cash. So I can have a line of credit for $10,000, write a check to give to the car guy, and then once I pay that back, I renew that line of credit. Loans, they stop, right? You get $10,000, you pay it back, and then you have to apply for the loan again if you want more money. Lines of credit revolve, they renew. So as soon as I pay it back, I get it back. And I can use that line of credit for something else. Think of a line of credit like a credit card. Once you pay it back, you can then use that for something else. A loan will stop. So once you get a $10,000 loan, if you pay it off, you have to apply for a loan again to get more money. So that's a new process. It's a new underwriting. It's a struggle. But lines of credit will always renew. They're revolving credit. So that's why that is the better way to get a car, because once I pay for it, then I can just use that for something else. And I can buy cameras and lights and something else.
So where would you go to start that up?
Lines of credit, me at any bank, Capital One, Discover, all of your credit agencies, they'll all have line of credit that you can apply for.
Yeah. Because I was just thinking the other day, like, how can I get another car? I still probably owe, like, there's a number like $2,000 on my car. But I just want something different.
Right.
And I was trying to figure out, like, how do I finesse that into getting...
So this is how the business part will come into play. Because the business can apply for the credit application. You use that application to buy the car. Now that car is a business vehicle. So now it's a tax expense. It's a tax deduction. And everything that I pay for the car can now be written off on my tax return. That's how they do it. So if I'm paying for the loan, if I'm paying car maintenance, tire rotations, oil changes, I can then write that off and reduce my taxable income.
All right. You're about to see me come through in the Lambo, man. At Kroger in the Lambo, man.
So this is what I mean. You got to understand those systems so that you do it the right way.
Definitely didn't understand that part, man. We're going to have some more conversations. Because I think this is something, the financial literacy part of America is the part that gets you, it's like half of your freedom. Mm-hmm. And then like knowing who you are and where you come from is like the other half.
It is.
And our community sometimes lacking both. Right. So that's the whole point of this show, man, is to get people together, man. And just get you on the right track.
Yeah.
How else do we lose money? Is there any other ways you kind of?
Yeah. I mean, not having a good idea of where you're spending your money is another way to lose money. So if I'm not paying attention to bank charges, or if right. So if I am not paying attention to the interest rates on my credit card, interest is a lot of how we lose money. Where I'm making all these purchases, and then if I'm not using the credit card the right way, I just spent double that in interest to the bank. That's going to be also the way that you will lose money, just by not really being mindful of it and staying in front rather than just swiping your card everywhere.
Right. Because if you don't have it and they putting tax on it, they taxing what you don't have, you definitely don't have that.
Right.
It's crazy. I went to Micro Center the other day to get a computer.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to buy it flat out because I was going to get, my credit is good, but I'm still trying to build it up.
Uh-huh.
But when they told me there was 28% interest,
mm-hmm.
We was talking about on the show, you could ruin your life by buying an SD card.
You could.
If you don't pay it off.
Right, you could, yeah.
Jesus, man. It's hard out here, man.